Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. We're doing a bit of a brown purple smoky eye today with a splash of silver from the new Natasha Denona palette that I just purchased online. Very excited to try it out. This is a bit of a first impressions on that one too. It's got a thumbs up from me so far. Anyway, hope you guys enjoy this one. So we're going to prime the eyelids today with the Urban Decay Naked Skin Concealer. This is the shade Light Neutral. And we're going to blend that off with the Real Techniques Miracle Complexion Sponge. The sponge is damp. Just run it under the tap and then blot off the excess on a towel. Just blend that all over the eyelid. It's going to take out any discoloration, any redness. And also prime the eyelids and act as a base. So with the MAC Mineral Finish Powder and the Morphe E53 brush, we're just setting that primer. You can use any powder for this, does not matter at all. You're just setting that cream base that you've put down. And this is the Makeup Geek eyeshadow in the shade Mirage with the MAC 217 brush. I just really want to make sure that this has a really good base to blend off of. And that's absolutely set. This step is not that necessary. And the same to the other side. Just wanted to really make sure that that area that I was going to be blending in. And this is Anastasia Beverly Hills in the shade Fawn, in the same 217 brush, and this is going to go into the crease area. This is our transition shade. It's kind of warm light brown, very similar to Makeup Geek Barcelona Beach. That's another great option. We want this to still shine through those dark colours that we're going to put on afterwards, so don't want to go in with something too light. I want to make sure it's still it's going to be seen as a transition shade. Just really making sure, taking the time to make sure that's blended. And you want to make sure it's also visible when your eyes open. You really want your transition shade to be there when you open your eyes. So we're going in with the eyeshadow Deep Damson. This is a MAC eyeshadow. And this is the MAC 239 brush. I like to use the smaller brush when I'm packing on the darker shades. Just gives me a bit more control and a bit more depth, I find. So that's just going onto the outer corner of the eye and into the crease area. So I just push that dark colour right into the eye, and I'll blend it off later. I'm just getting it to where I really want it to be. So this is the 217 brush again, and I'm just going back over. It still has that bit of fawn on it, which is only going to help me to blend that off. And just a fluffier blending brush. This is the Models Prefer. I think it's number 120. It's called Blending. They don't give you a lot of detail on these brushes. Sorry, it's called the Crease Brush. Now for on the lid area, just so it's nice and even and seamless, we're just putting a little bit of the shade Quarry from MAC. This is also a Models Prefer brush. It's called the 121 Cream Eyeshadow Brush. Obviously I like to use it for powder though. So now we're going in with the Natasha Denona Palette. This is a mixture of the first and the third colours. And just the MAC 242 brush, and we're just packing that onto the lid. These are incredibly pigmented and dense, so just got to take your time, make sure that it doesn't go all over the place, and just pack it onto where you want it. I didn't need to wet this down with Fix Plus or anything. It just is that intense on its own. But it's not entirely a cream eyeshadow, so you still do have to just fluff the edges of it and blend it still. We don't want to cover our Deep Damson that we've put on there, but just you do want to make sure they are blended together. So now we're going with that lighter shade for our inner corner, just so it's a little bit of an ombre, just because that tone for the lid was actually quite a dark silver. Just wanted to open up that inner corner a little bit. So now for eyeliner, this is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Gel Eyeliner and the Zoeva 317 brush. Now we're not doing anything fancy, we're just popping that on the lash bed. It's not a flick or anything. It is slightly elongated at the corner, but only really to give me a bit of direction here when I come in with this Manicare fluffy brush. It's got kind of a long bristle on it, so I knew it would just really fluff that out. And for mascara, this is the Tarte Amazonian Clay Mascara, awesome one for sensitive eyes. And for eyebrows, we're going in with the IT Cosmetics Universal Taupe Brow Powder Pencil. Just combing them out with the spoolie first, and then just going in and really just following the natural shape of my brows, but just carving off that top corner to create a slightly sharper arch. Because with my brows I really want to create that stronger arch so that my eyebrows don't look too straight. Just softens my face a little bit, because I can look pretty harsh when my eyebrows are looking too straight. So we're going to prime the skin now with the NARS Poreless Primer. This is just a silicone stick, helps to fill in the pores, just blurs them off a bit so your foundation sits better, just over anywhere where you have some pores. And with the Born This Way foundation from Too Faced, and this is the Models Prefer, it's the DMT 242 VS Flat Bronzer Vegan Synthetic Brush. Just buffing that on. It's just a very dense synthetic kabuki brush. Not my favourite brush because it was in the wash, but this one makes do just fine. I do prefer a rounder brush as opposed to the flat tops, but when you're in a bind, this will get you there. So just buffing that in. And back in with the Urban Decay concealer for the under eye area, down the nose, and the forehead. Any redness that's around the nose, that will help take that out. And I'm just really bouncing that into the skin and blending it off with, again, the Real Techniques Miracle Complexion Sponge. This is just the same one that I was using before. Just pressing that in. I'm going to set that with the Laura Mercier Translucent Powder and back in with the E53 brush. This is the one I was using before when I set my eye primer. Just pushing that right in under the eye so I don't get any creasing from that concealer. And setting the entire face now with the MAC Mineral Powder. And that same brush. This is in the shade Medium Plus. Just setting the T-zone, the chin, all over the face so that my bronzer will then not stick. And I tend to be oily, so I can never have enough powder. So we're going to bronze today with the Becca Low Lighting Bronzer. It's got the two shades. I tend to aim for the lighter shade, as you can see. It's taken a bit more of a beating. And this is the Morphe M527 brush. So I'm just dusting that on the bottom of the cheekbone and blending it up just over the hairline. Not really contouring, just trying to blend everything off and bring a little bit of dimension back. So this is a little trick. If you're finding that you're getting your bronzer all over your face a little bit, I just tend to squeeze the brush just so it flattens out a little bit more and gives me a little bit more direction when I'm pushing that under the cheekbone. So for blush, we're going with the MAC 168 brush, and this is just the blush that's from the Lamaska palette that I had lying around. No real reason for choosing that, it was just the closest one. Any pinky shade, pinky peachy shade will do absolutely fine. So this is the Becca highlighter in the shade Opal, and I'm popping that on with the Morphe M405 brush. I will say I do like the Sigma highlighter brush better. Just trying that one out. So we're just going to buff the under eye area with that the MAC Deep Damson, and that's the MAC 239 brush that already had that colour on it. It's just buffing out that corner and elongating that up a little bit. Now this is the same shade that I used to highlight that those inner corners of my eyes. Just popping that on the brow bone, just giving that a bit of a clean up. Just felt like that needed finishing off a bit more. Now just popping it right into that corner of the eye. So we're going to do the inner rim now with the MAC Chromographic Pencil in NC15. Sorry guys, this looks a bit yucky. There's no pretty way of doing this. Just be really gentle when you are pulling your eye down. A, you don't want to wreck your concealer, and B, you don't want to get any older any quicker. So for lip liner, we're going in with the MAC Strip Down eyeliner, lip liner, sorry. And this is I'm just really softly blurring the edges. I'm not doing anything, so I'm just using the lip liner, sorry, on its side, just blurring off the edges. And this is the Anastasia Beverly Hills liquid lipstick. So this one's in the shade Blush. It's a nice creamy moussey texture, not drying like a lot of liquid lips are, and you don't get that horrible ring on the inside of your lips. Alright, so for false lashes today, we're going in with the Cocoa lashes in the style Queen Bee. So I've just put those on. And I just felt like that liquid lip was just a tad too pink and heavy for this eye lip, so I'm just going to take the edge off with the NARS lip gloss in the shade Orgasm. I've been through so many of these. This is my go-to lip gloss. I do need to broaden my horizons a little bit though. Alright, so here's the finished look. Really hope you guys enjoyed that. Hope you try it at home. Good luck with it. See you next time.